guys some thumbs up.
He is a notable music director, started his career at the age of 12. Worked with 25 music directors, more than 600 projects as an assistant before doing music for his first feature film. He has won many awards till dates, which includes Time Omni Award, 3 Tamil Nadu State Film Awards, 3 International Tamil Film Awards, and the list goes on. He is called as the King of Melody. I hope by now you must have got it. Can anyone tell me who is the personality I'm talking about?
Harris Jairaj.
Can I?
You?
Harris Jairaj.
Yes, you are right. Harris Jairaj. He got all this recognition and popularity when he got on stage and opportunity to perform, which he got in his first film. Before that, he had worked in composing 2,000 songs as an assistant, which is not an easy job, guys. Toastmasters has given a stage, a platform to perform. It is up to use and utilize the stage effectively. I think now it's time to move on to the prepared speech session. There is a famous saying that before anything else, preparation is a key. Here, today we have a set of speakers who have prepared an engaging speech to delight us with their stunning performance. And now, it is the time.
Avoid using notes. I know you're unswitched in. Timer, please note the time for the speech is 8 to 10 minutes. All the best and best of luck for your speech.
Toastmaster Aarti, the milestone. The milestone, Toastmaster Aarti.
It was one of the memorable days, not for me, but for my friend Neetu, who was celebrating her achievement as district first in 10th grade with a grand party at her house. We all had cleared 10th exam, but in Neetu's house, it was a grand party. Why not in our houses? With curiosity, I asked my friends, dude, she was better than all of us and achieved district first. It was the milestone achievement, so they were celebrating it. Oh, milestone. A question raised in my mind. What was the milestone in our lives? What was the milestone in my life? Wonderful evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. If Neetu was celebrating her district first achievement with a grand party, why there is no celebration for me when I cleared all my exams, who was even struggling to pass in the exams? What is a milestone actually? How many of you think milestone is achieving something big? You know what? When I was a kid, when I started to walk for first time with small baby steps and started to speak, or even if I scored high marks in my kindergarten exam, my mom used to consider it as a significant achievement and used to give a star made up of golden paper as a symbol of my achievement. Even as a kid, I used to score very less mark in math. Less means like 10 out of 100. One day, my mom told, sweetie, I know you are struggling with math. Daily spend few minutes, study one formula and work on the problem. I also did the same. In the next exam, I scored 25 out of 100. For that, I got a star from my mother. I was surprised and asked my mother, I not even cleared my exam. Why the star now? My mom replied, sweetie, you are better than last time. It was your achievement. And in the next exam, 30, 35, 40, eventually, gradually, and finally, I cleared my exam. Few years later, I was poisoned by a scorpion. I was in a critical condition and rushed to hospital. The last thing I remember was I was in the hospital surrounded by doctors, and in one part of the room, my mom was kneeling down and praying to God to save my life. It took 3 days for me to come out of the critical condition. When I opened my eyes after 3 days, my mom was still and there were three golden stars. I asked my mother, why these stars now? My mother replied, every day we were recovering and each day we were doing better than yesterday. And today you opened your eyes. For each day I gave you one star. And today is your milestone. From these incidents, I understood two things. Number one, it doesn't matter how big I achieve. Number two, even if I was better than yesterday, it was an achievement. Achievements are relative. For that, each day I need to take one small step towards it. My mom taught me to be better than yesterday, but in due course of time, I forgot this and it got faded away until that day. Even though after that incident, I did so many things better than last time. But one thing always remains challenging for me. Yeah, it was speaking due to single child syndrome. Researchers have found that single childs will have symptoms like higher sense of privacy, social distance, loneliness, etc. Not all single child, but most of them will. And I'm one among them who suffered from social anxiety. Because of that, I'm unable to socialize and couldn't express my feelings, what I felt. When the babysitter threatens me, it was hard for me to convey that to my mother. When someone bullied me in the school, it was hard for me to talk against them. In the college, I'm unable to socialize, so I was isolated and couldn't express my feelings. Whenever I tried to speak, I was mocked, frowned, shunned. I was failing miserably and fell down. But I gathered my strength to do better and join Toastmasters. I was a kind of person who was struggling to speak normally. But in Toastmasters, people were playing with things. Whenever I go to stage, I used to fumble, stumble, and rumble. But each day I took one small step towards it, one small step of practicing to speak. With that, I delivered my speeches. Each speech became a milestone for me because each time I was better than last time. Similar to the golden star what my mother gave, Toastmaster appreciated me in the form of ribbons. The best version of me came out, and today I'm delivering my final speech in Competent Communicator Manual. Now, how many of you think milestone is achieving something big? For someone, getting an appreciation in office will be a milestone. For someone, completing a day in office without escalation will be a milestone. For someone, giving a shaking speech in Toastmaster will be a milestone. For someone, attending club meetings will be a milestone. For someone, traveling the whole world will be a milestone. And for someone, taking a day rest at home will be a milestone. Like this, we all will be having different milestones in our lives. What was your milestone? Are you taking a single step every day to achieve it? If not, start taking from today onwards. If your milestone is related with fitness, start spending few minutes on workout daily. If you want to see the planet Earth is more green, start spending few minutes in planting a tree. If your milestone is travel the world, start saving a little from daily. Whenever you do that, appreciate yourself. When was the last time you appreciate for something you did? Now pat on your back and appreciate yourself. Milestone can be as small as taking a morning walk to as big as designing a rocket. It doesn't matter how big you achieve. It is all about how satisfied you are. Even if you are better than yesterday, it was a milestone. MCs, what was your milestones?
Thank you, Adi. That was an amazing speech. I am that one person who makes sure that I set the bar so high. For me, it would be like climbing in Himalayas would be a milestone. After listening to your speech, if I am better than yesterday, that each and every day counts as a milestone. I completely agree with you. Before leaving you, I have a quick question to ask you. Can I see you again?
Yeah, Murli, tell me.
Okay, yes. What is your favorite act to watch on a theater, like in a stage performance? What is the favorite stage performance that you love to watch?
Okay, I never been to a stage performance, but I like to watch a lot of movies.
Do I like to watch a lot of movies? Is it
Yeah,
theater? You want to theater people really acting, or do you want to view films who were acted and screened?
who was actor in the screen?
Okay, I guess you are someone who likes Tala Ajit or okay, maybe we have a lot of people who maybe here in Toastmasters, I guess we are tired of saving them and we want to be performance. I guess that is the reason that we are here, and I hope you will agree with that. Thank
Yeah,
you for the amazing speech. Moving on to the next speaker, I have with me a student who's studying in SRM University, BTech IT. When asked upon what is your milestone that you want to achieve, which she wants to go to a top B school in India. Well, let's move on to the objectives. Before that, I would like to call upon Toastmasters evaluator, Toastmaster from IT industry was almost 15 years of experience. Yes, give it up for Toastmaster Vignesh Raja. Vignesh Raja, are you here?
Only I think Vignesh Rajan had a problem running. So let me do the valuation. Or else we can have our senior members doing valuation.
Okay, yes, I thought of two. I guess everybody would have wanted to do a TT session, and now that is not in the agenda. I would like to pick up someone in the meeting room. That is going to be a total surprise for you as well. So, yes, okay, I see everybody in the screen. I would like to choose a person whose name starts with Joe. Yes, Joe Srinivasan, sir. I would request you to be the evaluator of Toastmaster Shija. Are you willing to do the challenge? So you have to unmute yourself.
Speaker, read the objective alone.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir, sure.
I'll read the objective.
Toastmaster.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback in the next speech. The purpose of the speech for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback from a previous speech. It's from the manual feedback and evaluation project.
This is the first speech or second speech?
Second speech.
Second speech.
Second speech. You have already spoken. Very good. Very good. Very good. Please, please.
It's time for us to put your hands together to welcome Shrija, Toastmaster Shrija. One more thing. Toastmaster Shrija, one more thing, one more time. Over to you.
Thank you, Murli. So, how many of you have had hobbies when you were young? How many of you still have those hobbies? Have you found out that one activity or hobby and achieved from it? Every one of us love to have hobbies or some activity apart from our daily routine because it acts as a stress buster. It relieves us from stress. Even now, when someone asks me what my hobby is, I cannot give them a quick answer because in my case, I have been hopping and jumping between various activities. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests.
Evening.
So, I was 6 years old when I joined karate classes along with my 4-year-old brother. In an unfortunate incident, I happened to lose my brother and wasn't able to continue with the classes. But my parents wanted me to be engaged in one or the other activity. So, this is when my father found out that there were some special classes for 10th class students in grammar and English going on at school. I was only 8 years old then, but he decided me to send to those classes. I was scared to tell no to him, so helplessly, I went and sat in the classes. But soon, to my surprise, I started enjoying it because of the special attention I received. So, this is how my parents kept me always busy doing something and never let me sit idle. I used to mug up shlokas, chief ministers, prime ministers, capitals, and whatnot. But I did not love this mugging up part so much. Now, school was the place where I can do what I like. Winning was always secondary to me. I made sure that my participation and presence was there in all the activities and competitions that I can. Be it essay writing, swimming, singing, anything. I made sure that my presence was there. This is when my parents and few of my teachers told me that I should start focusing on one thing and do not do all the activities like that. But I paid a deaf ear to them. Sometime later, when I was around 12 or 13, I decided to do something crazy. I wanted to get into Limca Book of Records. I have no idea in what area or what to do, but I decided that I should do it. This was because some student at my school was successful in getting his name into Limca Book of Records and whole school was talking about him. So I was like, why late? Let's try this too. But this time I was a bit serious because all my friends and teachers got to know about this. Can anyone guess in which area I tried to make a record? Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen. Some of you might recollect that these are the elements from periodic table. Yes, I decided to tell all the 118 elements in the periodic table in 36 seconds because the previous record was around 38 or 39 seconds. I was done with my preparation. The competition was nearing. It was supposed to be held in Hyderabad. Suddenly, I had a call from school telling that state level science fair competition was also to be held on the same day in Tirupati. Now, I had to decide between both because I worked hard and only 2 projects from whole district got selected to the state level and mine was one among that. It was a tough decision for me, but my school later made it easy, telling that they will not allow me to participate in any other competition if I don't go now to Tirupati to represent the school. So I went there thinking that I can make a record next year, but that next year never came. But I was happy that I got to represent my school at state and national levels consecutively for 4 years. I happened to travel to so many places. So this is something which gave me so much happiness in midst of all the things I gave up. Now, during summers also, I never spent my summers at home. Each summer, I started with a new thing. It helped me in socializing, meeting different people, and most importantly, gave me memories that I can never forget. I had issues too. I used to swim, but every 15 days or a month, I used to fall sick because of the chlorine or the water. I don't know. Even then, I continued to swim, thinking that I can get immune to it. But for very long, that didn't happen. So I had to let go of swimming. Later, I gave up my skating because I used to find it difficult to breathe at nights um, because of the dust or something, and doctor advised me to let go of skating. Now, after giving up each and everything, I felt one more thing, one more time, I'm giving up. But I never gave up trying new things and exploring things. Maybe that's my hobby. I realized it is important to keep ourselves busy with various activities. The world is full of wonderful, exciting activities that we can do, try to have new experiences. Now, I'm glad that I got to experience so many things, but deep inside somewhere, I still feel that I should have identified that one thing, which was my cup of tea, and should have excelled in it. It's not late yet. I'll find out that one thing, and I'll continue to enjoy two different experiences. Thank you. Over to MC.
Thank you, Srija. That was really an engaging and wonderful speech. You made me to remember my childhood days where I was trying to change my games. For 1 month, I'll be playing football, and 1 month, I'll be playing volleyball. But I don't know where to concentrate on my sports. During that days in my life, I had no guidance to push me to achieve my goal. I am a state player in volleyball, but after my school days, all my sports, all my activities have been gone down. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with me. I hope everyone had enjoyed the speech you give to us by like me. We'll be listening to the evaluation session later in the meeting. Now, to celebrate our 3th milestone meeting, here we have an Army Commando. To tell about him, he is a postgraduate in economics, Mr. Madras in the early 80s, a state champion in weightlifting. He had represented our nation in South Asian Games in the martial arts of Silambam. He had rescued close to 500 families in Chennai floods December 2015 as a part of NDRF operation. He is an avid Toastmaster, having been the charter member of Chennai Articulators Club. So please put your hands together to welcome the area champion, the president of Chennai Articulators Club, Toastmaster Major Narayanan, to the virtual stage.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It has been a great honor and a pleasure for me to address this elite gathering. Elite in the sense, it's a milestone meeting. 350th meeting is not an easy joke. And what makes it more special is the fact that you've been able to keep the legacy going and successfully been conducting this during the times of the COVID. And a lot of members have been connecting from different parts of the globe, not necessarily from the city. I'm not from Chennai. I'm in Hyderabad. And so many of the members whom I've been able to see. And I believe there are 2 people who have joined us from Dubai also. So wishing all the members, past presidents, past ExCom, and the current organizers of Coromandel Toastmasters Club a glorious 350th milestone meeting. And I take this opportunity to share my thoughts on what I would rather be able to share some very, very pertinent thoughts which has been occurring in the mind for the past several years. Take my mind exactly 21 years earlier, on the same day, 30th May, 1999, we were tasked to capture a hill feature in the line of control. Previous 2 attempts by 2 different battalions, a Naga regiment and a Gorkha regiment, had failed, and the task was given to us. We just had only one objective. We'll have to plonk ourselves on the new high feature, which is called Tiger Hill, or in terms of geographical latitude or longitude, it is called 0.4875. We do not have any maps. Oxygen was absolutely at a very, very premium. We do not have oxygen because at an altitude of more than 20,000 feet high, I just messaged, oxygen is scarce here, but courage is in plenty. And arms and ammunition were there, but there are no match for adversary. So we just got together. To cut a long story short, I told my troops how to go about the attack. And I gave them minute detail in different plans, different aspects of attack, and what to do in case of somebody is being evacuated or wounded, or God forbid, something else happens. My Jawans, they are from Jat regiment. They do not understand the Hindi spoken by a Tamil guy. They said, "Sab, chhod do sab. Hum ye bata do, kal breakfast kahan khana hai?" Bas. They just asked in simple terms, "Where are we supposed to have our breakfast tomorrow?" That's it. And then I told them exactly 12 hours later. At that time was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, after 12 hours from now, we are supposed to be having our breakfast in what is called the takery, or 0.4875. They said, just leave it, we'll take care. And Toastmasters and my dear guests, you may not be able to believe this. The 2 battalions had attacked and failed. We were able to attack after a long and arduous march of around 5 hours of climbing. We reached the objective. An enemy was there, lay waiting. He had ambushed us, and before he could pounce upon us, we took the initiative we took advantage of the darkness and absolutely immobilized him. After 2 hours of hand-to-hand combat, hand-to-hand fighting, we finally were able to plonk ourselves on the hilltop and have our breakfast there. This action, ladies and gentlemen, is called what is called a perfect example of the power of thought. We just had a thought implanted on us, and the great Harvey T. Eker would say, watch your thoughts. Where your thought goes, your attention goes. Where your attention goes, energy flows and results show. Results, my dear ladies and gentlemen, that is what mattered on that day, exactly 21 years earlier, as I recounted at the same time. My heart swells with pride when I've been able to get some calls today in the morning, reminiscing what we did 21 years earlier. History is replete with such great activities wherein a lot of outcome have been delivered just because of a single thought. When the Western seas were thought unnavigable, and people said the area adjoining the Western seas, when the King of Spain said it would be futile for us to launch any expedition, a guy comes, he asks the king to give him a fleet of ships and men. The king says, I can't give you a fleet of ships. I can just give you 2 ships. Undauntedly, the gentleman again goes and meets the Queen Rebecca, and managed to get a fleet of ships and a lot of men and resources. And it took him just 3 years, 1698 to be precise. He goes and discovers a new land, which he calls as India. Indeed, it is not India, it is West Indies. And then finally, he is credited to have found what is called the America. Ladies and gentlemen, a perfect example of what a single thought can do for the whole universe. In 1903, the New York Science Digest carried an article that it will be futile for man to know how to fly, because man has not been designed to fly. Exactly 2 weeks later, 2 brothers who have been cycle mechanics, they stumble upon a great invention and they take flight. It is absolutely immaterial that the initial flight took only 17 seconds.
Okay, sir.
A lot of activities which followed later. And now between 2 continents, the aeroplane flies without stopping anywhere for refueling or refilling, and it continues to fly for more than 17 hours. This happened in 1903. Wright brothers must be knowing. The place was St. Kitty Hawk in US. That took place in the year 1903, July 17th to be precise. Thereafter, I would be happy to recount an incident which took place slightly later. 1951, 2 people wanted to conquer the highest hill feature, rather highest mountain feature on earth. They go there. When they were about to conquer the penultimate peak, they run out of oxygen. They run out of rope and an ice axe. They got no other option but to return. When both of them returned, one of them took a U-turn, saw the mountain, or rather stared at the mountain and said, as a mountain, you can't grow, but as a man, I can always grow. He challenged and came back. As I had already said, history always repeats itself. Exactly a year later, these two people again go there, and at the same place, they find themselves running short of oxygen. They lose hold of the rope, and the ice axe breaks into two pieces. The second guy says, "We don't have any option, let's come down." But the guy who had already walked to the mountain told him, "You are absolutely fortunate because our load has become lighter. We don't have the load of 20 kilos. Two, we got our left hand free because there's no rope. Our right hand is also free because we got what is called, we don't have what is called the ice axe. Come, let's make an attempt. Let's try." The other guy said, the Sherpa, he says, "I had seen so many mountaineers dying here trying to conquer this peak. There are two options. Either you go there and die there, or in the process of attempting to reach the peak, you die." The other guy, he says, "Let's go for the first option. Let us go there. The moment we reach, whether we leave or whether we are dead or alive, history will say that these are the two persons who were able to conquer the peak." And conquer they did in the year 1952, May 23rd to be precise. And when they came down and reporters asked, "How did you feel when you're there on the top of the mountain?" Sir Edmund Hillary of New Zealand said, "We felt the entire world was at our feet." That is, ladies and gentlemen, a clear-cut example of what a power, what small thought can alter the entire universe. Same year, there's a guy who wanted to create a world record in what is called the mile. A mile is run between 3 and 4 laps. Mile is typically 1,600 meters. And this gentleman wanted to create a world record. Because those days, the minimum time taken for a mile was more than 4 minutes. He goes to a doctor, trying to find out how we can improve his speed and strength and stamina. The doctor directs him to a cardiologist. Cardiologist directs him to a pulmonologist. Pulmonologist is one who takes care of the lungs. And the doctor examines him and says, "Human beings' lungs are not designed to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. You just can't do it." The guy was stung to the quick and returns and tells the doctor, "I am going to create a world record by running it less than 4 minutes, and you are going to watch it. Second, I'll become a doctor, whereas you can't run." And then he practices hard, goes to a very good coach, and finally, on a windswept day, on 29th May, just one day earlier, 1952, the guy runs and creates a world record. In less than 4 minutes, he conquers what is called 1,500 meters. Again, he goes back to the doctor and says, "I am going to become a doctor. You can never become a runner like me." And he was able to keep up his words. He became a very famous doctor and has written what is called Man's Control Over Emotions. The guy is called Roger Bannister, who passed away last year. The moral of the story doesn't end here. The very same year, after this record was done, in the month of May 1952, 4 runners ran past the 4-minute mark. The very next year, 12 runners ran, and in a matter of 3 years, 36 runners had erased that mark. So we are always limited only by our thoughts and nothing else. Imagination is very, very powerful, much more powerful than knowledge. And in 1988, in Seoul Olympics, when a world record was created by Ben Johnson in the 100 meters, there's a compatriot called Florence Griffith Joyner who had gone there to the ground. She took a video. She took a video of what has happened, came back to her hotel room and started seeing the video. And the next day, she creates a world record. When reporters asked her, "Till the other day, you were nowhere in the race. You were not even credited to run and finish the last 6. And you were an underdog and you were supposed to be a dark horse. You never fancied to win." So she says, "I went yesterday, took the video of the world record created by my compatriot Ben Johnson. I came back to my hotel room and saw it 100 times. Then she pauses. Oh, sorry, not 100 times. I'd seen it only once. The rest 99 times. I visualize as if I am running the race in place of Ben Johnson and had created a world record. Now that I had created a world record yesterday in my hotel room, I wanted to prove to the outside world that what is capable of me yesterday will be capable of me today also. Incidentally, I just ran the race just to show people like you that I was able to achieve the world record twice, yesterday in my mind and today in front of the entire gathering. That is 1988, ladies and gentlemen. Thereafter, history is replete with so many other examples. 2016, roughly 4.5 years ago, there's a lady called Priyanka Sharma who was enrolled for the MBA in London University. She wanted to take part of the London Olympics. A straight thought occurs in my mind, let me start running. She practices, and just a day prior, she encounters what normally ladies or girls of her age would encounter. People advise her against running. She's got two options, either to come out of the race or go ahead, and she takes the second option, and what is called free bleeding. She's a perfect example of free bleeding. She runs the race. First 5 kilometers is absolutely painful. It is hellish, highly torrid. And as she writes in her autobiography, every meter or every 2 meters, she was able to find or rather feel the pain. And finally, exactly, she is able to complete her race, and in the process has been the youngest to run the London Marathon, and that too after just 1 year of practice. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to narrate a lot of other examples also, but what is striking me very, very special is the very fact of your name, Coromandel. Coromandel had come from the age-old Tamil phrase called Chola Mandalam, and Chola Mandalam, or rather Chola kingdom, was ruled by a great king called Rajendra, who ruled for exactly 30 years, from 1014 to 1044. He wanted to prove that his land was almost as big as the universe. So he just considered the Bay of Bengal as a small lake, and he started conquering all the nations around it. And he said, I've been able to conquer the entire nations around it, and no other king would have captured as many lands as I had done. Again, the power of a thought. They say, change your thoughts, change your world, and change your words, you change your world. And we know what we are, but we do not know what we may be. And herein lies the catch, ladies and gentlemen. As we start communicating, not with others, with our own selves, communication can either can contaminate the relationship or it can cultivate the relationship. The more you start cultivating the relationship with yourself, just be mindful of the fact, any word that you've been uttering is got full of purpose, energy, and lasting value. The more you start communicating with yourself, you'll be able to see where you are, and you'll be able to learn from yesterday, live for today, and look out with hope for tomorrow. Every interaction will always make us enriching, enlivening, and invigorating. As Reinhold Niebuhr would say in the Serenity Prayer, God, please grant me the courage to change the things that I can, the serenity to accept the things I can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference. I wish all the Toastmasters a great life in the world of Toastmastering, public speaking, leadership, and human development. And may your happiness always keep you sweet. May your trials keep you strong. May your sorrows keep you human. May all failures you meet make you more humble. And may success keep you glowing. May your faith keep you going. And your attitude keep you growing and glowing. I wish all the Toastmasters the very best in their lives, and wishing Coromandel Toastmaster Club for having given me an opportunity to speak and articulate on the power of thought. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your thought-provoking speech, Major. Now I would like to admit my thoughts that a good speech never ends in the world. They only take a pause and keeps us waiting for the next. Major, your speech is one among them. We'll be waiting for your speech in CTC again. And now it's time for that pause. So please sit back and relax. We have.
Yeah, yes. Stop it. I'll take the control from you now. And yes, the most exciting session
And thank you for delivering your milestone speech on this milestone meeting. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. That was wonderful. You had the perfect evaluator content that needs to be on this milestone meeting. And Arti, hope you take that suggestions that he told you, and then you could improve more on your speeches. Up next, to evaluate Srija's, I have an experienced Toastmasters who's been in the Coromandel Toastmasters, but I have not seen him presently in 2 years. And we just had this all PR activities, and he said, okay, if Coromandel is hosting a 350th, aka the 7th birthday today, I think I have to come. And a lot of old Toastmasters, the pillars of CTC have turned up today. I want to thank everyone. And one of them is Joe Srinivasan, sir. Sir, please do the evaluation for Toastmaster Srija. Thank you, sir. So you're muted.
Sir, you have not unmuted. Joe, sir, you have not unmuted.
Srinivasan, sir, you have not unmuted.
Oh God. Okay, sorry. I'm extremely
Yes,
sorry.
sir. The timer will just reset it and you can start.
No. I just want the timer to still wait. I'm
Okay,
just
sir.
going to give a general evaluation because this module requires the feedback of the previous evaluation. Has it been improved? I should check. But since this is an impromptu evaluation, I'm just doing a general. Okay. Timer now, you can start. Thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening again. Toastmaster Srija, you have started very well with your hook. See, what happens when people listen, the speaker has to fight for attention. A lot of things will drag the attention of the audience. So you need hooks. The simplest possible hook is using a question in the beginning, and you have done it very well by asking question to the audience. Now, you don't have a stage in evaluation in this online meeting. So when you don't have a stage to perform, what you have to do is you have to bank on your voice modulation. Thank you, boss. Sharp. And you have to bank on your voice modulation. I was very much impressed by your voice modulation. When you talked about your father, he was suggesting you something and you said, I was scared to tell no to him. The tone also speaks. Fantastic. And when you said that one thing, your tone spoke a lot. A lot of appreciations for that. And please note, our full body is not visible in the online mode. But still, what you did is, when you were swimming, we were able to feel that you were swimming. So that also ensured that the audience is with you. Your fluency, wow, it's really fantastic. And your accent is absolutely neutral. That is a definite plus for any speaker. You are just firing like AK-47. Now your speech can be improved still by some improvements. When you talk, there is a glitch here. Say what you want to say, what you would like to say, and then say what you have told. The last part is to ensure that in the first two, if you have failed to tell, at least the third part, the audience can make out what you are going to tell. So this is called structured speech in Toastmasters. An intro, a body, a conclusion. If you have given a good structure, your speech could have been better. This is one suggestion I can give. And in special speeches like this, you can give your premise in the intro. What is the premise with which you are talking? That could have been better. And second thing is, when you talk, please pause. When you pause, it is good for you and to your audience. Good for you because you can take a breath. Good for the audience because once you say something, we can grasp and digest what you said. But overall, with your initial hook, with your fantastic voice modulation, and with your gestures and all that, facial expressions and all, with a bit of improved structure and passing, I am sure you will rock. All the best. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe Srinivasan sir. Yes, I completely agree with you. And I saw Toastmasters nodding to each and every sentence that you say. And I guess she's completely impressed with your feedback. And thank you for taking this evaluation, an impromptu one. And you did a great job in making us happy and taking this one. Yes, I would like to have a quick fun session. So yes, as I said before, Badivelu has impressed me a lot. And so I would be sharing my screen soon. And okay, hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the game is simple. Vanakkam. Let's see how well you know me. So okay, you can unmute and say. So first, I would be moving on to the next slide. You would have a picture. There are two things that you have to guess. One would be the movie. One would be the movie name, and two would be the character name, and three, a famous dialogue from that movie in his body language and his voice modulation. I know this is going to be a tough job, but still we are Toastmasters. I think we can do that. Okay, are we ready? For thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Which movie is this? Come on, guys, I'm okay. Someone said Giri. Who's that?
Myself.
Okay. The movie is Giri, and what's the character's name?
Veerababu.
Okay. Veerababu is the right answer. I guess Shankara told Veerababu. Okay, someone from the virtual medium, you have to say a dialogue in that tone. Let's make it quick, guys. Come on.
நீங்க ரொம்ப நல்லவன்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க.
எவ்வளவு அடிச்சாலும் தாங்கறான் ரொம்ப நல்லவன்னு சொல்லி.
நல்லவன்.
Thank you, bro. நானே எவ்வளவு அடிச்சாலும் தாங்குவேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Yes, another. Okay, next clue. Yes. What is the character's name? What is the movie name? What is? Okay, I didn't hear it yet. Yes, come on, guys.
Winner. கைப்புள்ளை.
Okay, winner கைப்புள்ளை. Okay, டக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டீங்க எல்லாரும். Okay, சரி, இதெல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டீங்க. Finally, okay. Yes, you have to say a dialogue. What dialogue are you going to say?
மல்லாக்கா பார்த்து பார்த்தா என்ன காத்தோட்டமா இருக்கு.
மல்லாக்கா பார்த்தா என்ன காத்தோட்டமா இருக்கு.
அதனையும் காலை விரிச்சு தூங்குறது என்ன காத்து.
Big one. This is not a sneaky session. Okay, இதே dialogue சொல்லிட்டீங்க. Yes, it is summer time and yes, Toastmaster session முடிஞ்சவனே yes, you can go back to your routine. பட்டாபட்டி டிராயர் போட்டு நீங்க வந்து ஜாலியா வந்து காத்து வாங்கலாம். Yes, we'll go on to the okay.
வெற்றி கொடிகட்டு.
வெற்றி கொடிகட்டு. Can you hear me, see me? You see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, okay. Next one. Which movie is this?
வெற்றி கொடிகட்டு.
Vetri Kodigatti is the right answer and the character name. Okay.
நாம் மறுபடியும் இங்க இருக்கோம் இல்ல திரும்பியும் துபாய்க்கே போயிடலாமா?
Toastmasters இருக்கீங்க ஒண்ணும் இல்ல வின் பண்ணிட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா ஒரு ஐஎஸ்சி கண்டெஸ்டன்ட் துபாய் அமெரிக்கா எல்லாமே போலாம். Yes, okay. Character name, please.
Building contractor.
Nesamani.
No. Sudalai. Okay. Okay. We'll move on to the next one. Yes. Come on, the movie name, you can guess it.
Kadalan.
Okay. Kadalan, easier reading. Okay, the character's name.
Oh.
Come on, think. Something that starts with V. Okay, yes. It starts with V-A-S.
Vasu.
வாசுக்கு அப்புறம் இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் நல்லா ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. வாசுதேவ் இல்ல வாச. Okay. Vasant. Somebody got it right. Yes, okay. We'll move on to the next one. Yes. Yes, this can be done quickly. Encounter Yagamaram. Okay, dialogue சொல்லுங்க. Dialogue is important part.
நல்லா இருக்கு.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, everybody's favorite. Chandramukhi, yes, is the right answer. Character name, yes.
Gopal. Murugesa.
Yeah. Yes, it's the right answer. Okay, dialogue time now.
Gopal.
அரசியல்வாதி மாதிரியே கிவிங் அ போஸ்ட் ஏதோ தலைவருக்கு
அரஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு
போகும்போது
ஆப்பு வெச்சிட்டாண்டா ஆப்பு. Okay, that is what I was expecting. Yes, we'll move on to the next one. Yes, final one. Yes, okay, contract Nesamani. Movie name Friends. Okay, everybody's favorite dialogue. Together, 3, 2, 1, go.
நீயே புடுங்க வேணாம்.
Okay, yes, போற நிறுத்திக்கலாம். இதோட இதுக்கு மேல போச்சு அப்படினா வந்து பிரசிடென்ட் இருக்கிறவங்க எல்லாம் டென்ஷன் ஆயிடுவாங்க. Last session of the day. Yes, they say save the last for the best, and I have saved the last session today for the best. Yes, we are going to have a musical performance. Yes, the wise man said, save the best for the last. Yes, it is a musical performance that is going to do it. And we have brothers in arms, Prasanna, the elder one, and Satya, the younger one, who's going to perform us with a lot of music. And music matalla, and they want us to sing as well. I am going to sing, and I have had a bad throat and everything, but still I am going to sing. And I want everybody in this virtual screen to try singing. Yeah, Toastmasters, yes, we can do it. And speaking about the performance who is already on screen with a smiling face, is Prasanna, who's been working in Accenture IT, and he has been a friend of mine for almost 4 years now. And the younger one, Prasanna, baby, and hi. Okay.
Hi.
The younger one, Satya, he's been working. Yes, not working. Okay, yes, he works. He studies in engineering, SRM, and பையன் நிறைய பேச மாட்டான், but still he says something that has admired me. One thing is that music heals. I would say that let the healing begin, and I would give the stage all to you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Prasanna and Satya guys.
Thank you so much, Murali, for all the students was welcome, and so a very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and everyone present in the evening. So without much ado, we shall start our performance. இமை தாண்ட கூடாதென கடலாக கண்ணானது மறந்தாலும் நானும் நினைக்காத நாளில்லையே ஒரு போதும்
Thank you guys. That was amazing. And from this song, I want everybody to unmute your microphones and start singing together. Yes, we can do it. Yes. Okay, let's start.
One. Woo. Woo. Yeah. Come on, guys. Yeah. Let's go. அந்த அரபிக் கடலோரம் என் அழகை கண்டனே அந்த கண்ணில் பெண்கள் ஆடைகளை கண்கள் கண்டனே அம்மா 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 ஏ அம்மா 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 என் மல்லி தாமரையே உன் பாதம் கண்டனே
உங்களவே
Not over it, come on. சிலை ஓரம் அந்த ஆலை மூடியது ஆஹா என்ன சுகமோ ஆஹா என்ன இதமோ
அந்த அரபிக் கடலோரம் ஒரு ஆளை கண்டே அந்த
ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது. Come on guys. எல்லாம் கீழே வந்துருச்சு.
இருந்தா தேவை இல்ல பார்மசி
ஊர்வசி
தமிழ் வார்த்தைகள் 3 லட்சம் ரெண்டு சொல்லடி வெல்லவே take it easy policy மனதில் வாழ்க்கையில் வாலிபம் ஒரு fantasy
One, two, three, four. Surya fans out there. தொடுங்கப்பா தொடுங்க. Our final performance of the day for the day. And the canary. அந்த கண்ணழகி பல்லழகி சொடிக்கிறபடி கண்ணழகா பல்லழகா கடா मन पको संगत लीडर ना पत्ते अदर से ने टपर घुमर टपर घुमर टपर Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Murali. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Prasanna and Satya. That was indeed a great performance. Yes, you completely impressed us with all the moves that you had, and we wanted a crazy stuff, and we did it. I guess yes, everybody to bring that child out of everybody, and so that everybody would loosen up and be that kid that everybody wanted to. And yes, thank you for having me here. And yes, up next, I would like to call upon the president of Coromandel Toastmasters, and I guess he has something that he needs to reveal, something that starts with a letter M. I don't know. I guess let's invite Toastmaster Priyatam on stage, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Before revealing it, how was the show from Murali? how is he kept us engaging. So I've got something really special for both the MCs today. Let me ask them a rapid fire round of questions. So Murli and Arun, can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, man, stick to the agenda. Why do you want to risk it? We have already.
No. As we missed
go ahead.
No, don't worry. As we missed our impromptu session today, so this will be our impromptu session. So first question to Murli. If you had to be shipwrecked on a deserted island, whom would you take us? Whom would you take you with? It should be only from our club or the attendees that have joined today. So you should choose only one person that you're gonna shipwrecked on a deserted island. It's gonna be rapid fire. So
yeah, I don't want one. I want two. I want Prasanna and Satya with me so that I can have fun in the island. Those, I love you guys, each and every one of you, but still, I don't want to listen to some serious or emotional kind of speech there. Even in heavy, but still, I don't think I would do that in the deserted island. I want those two guys. Yes, thank you. Next one.
Okay, next one to Arun. So Arun, who was your first friend at Coromandel Toastmasters Club?
My first friend in Coromandel, I think this question everybody would know the answer. It's Pradeep. I think we both joined in Coromandel at the same day. So actually in Coromandel, we became friends.
Okay, that's really nice. So let me pull in few more guests also, so that the members also, so that they will also have this rapid fire round. So let me invite a few people who could face this rapid fire. So first question, let me shoot to Karuna sir, who has joined us today after a long time. Karuna sir, what was your first impression when you have visited Coromandel Toastmasters Club? What was your first impression?
Yeah, in 2015, I believe it was January 2015. When I visited for the first time, I was really surprised. People are gathered together and speaking in front of the audience, and it's really going to be it's going to create a magic in everyone's life. So people started to inspire others, and I was inspired by DTM Shanta, Santana Lakshmi, Toastmasters Satish, Toastmaster Velmurugan, and it was very nice team to speak with them, and we had many conversation after meeting also. So one person picked me for that TD session. I was really quite shy for the first time. And later on, after 2-3 weeks, people used to, especially VPM, Master Raman, used to call me once in a week, or maybe 4 times he used to call me in a week to join. Then one of my friends in RTBC, renowned Nissan, who is working, Mr. Karthikeyan, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. So he pulled me up to Toastmasters, CTC. And that's how the journey started. And after that, I served 2 times VPM and presidential as a president. And it has been a great journey for the last 5 years. And I'm sure that you all people are maintaining the same legacy and the energy. So I've seen this today, the energy. Hope it will be continued and you will be carrying the same level of the tempo. So all the best, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Prayatam.
Thanks a lot, Karna sir. So next rapid shot will be towards Joe Srinivasan sir. So who is the most easygoing person in our club? When you were our member, who was the most easygoing person in our club?
Many. Even Karnasan was very easygoing. Especially, say you have a meeting. We had 2 meetings. One in the formal place, another in a tea shop. The whole group will go there. It will be informal, and we have special meetings attended by very few elite. Once in
coffee meeting.
That is a different unofficial meeting. No qualms about it. This team meeting is a place where we have lot of exchanges. Not necessarily about Toastmasters. I mean, they say where a level. The discussions will be only over a cup of tea. Believe me, nothing mixed in it. But still, just with a cup of tea, we had a very level or different level discussion, and everyone was easygoing, especially our Karna sir. He's a singer and a dancer at that time.
Yeah, I even heard Karuna sir sing a lot of times in a club.
Singer
That,
and
Till now, you can sing, I guess.
we'll
Yeah,
have it
yeah,
post,
yes, yes.
post the meeting. Karuna sir will be hosting a live music again for us. Thank you, Joshi Nivasan sir, for your
Thank you.
So, without further ado, let me reveal the suspense that Murali was telling about. So, it was back in 2014 where we have launched our newsletter for the second time. After that, it is the resurgence. We have designed a newsletter for this term, this whole year, and our chief editor is Toastmaster John, who would be revealing the first look of our magazine. So this is over to Toastmaster John. Can you please reveal our first look of CTC's Resurgence magazine?
Thanks, Priyatham. Just hang in there, guys. Let me figure out how to share it. Okay, I hope everyone can see the first cover of our magazine.
Yeah.
So just to add on a bit, like Priyatham was saying, this is something that we have done after quite a long break. But I believe as Toastmasters, we are all here for improving our public speaking. But before we do that, we might have to also pick up our skills in terms of the written word. Because our thought process starts from where we do the speech writing, and I think this magazine is all about capturing the imagination and the writing skills of various members. So I hope you have fun reading it, and like always, keep chipping in the articles in future too. Over to you, Priyatham.
Yeah, thanks a lot. John has taken a lot of efforts in designing this magazine for us. We would be releasing it online. We had plans to release it offline and give copies to every member, but still, due to this pandemic, we weren't able to do that. We will share a soft copy with everyone who have joined and who were part of Coromandel. So, thanks a lot, John, once again for revealing the suspense that many of us are waiting. And let me give the show back to the MCs who are very energetic. Take it forward. Murali, over to you.
Yes, thank you. That was indeed great. I was telling M in sense like more of a magazine. Yes, I was happy to contribute to this magazine, and it was great learning for me how to shape up. And John did a fabulous job on that. Yes, thank you, John, and hope to read that in a hard copy with that fresh smell of paper, and I guess that would do great. And yes, I guess it's time for us to recognize another folks. Yes, recognize the folks that who brought the child within us, who made us scream like a little baby. I know it was not in perfect Shruti, Tala, or whatever you call it is, but we made sure we enjoyed it. I guess it's time for us to recognize Prasanna and this junior Satya, and I request Priyatham to recognize them.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Murali. And moving forward, let me share my screen. I hope all of you had good time with all the events that we have planned today, and it was really fun, which I felt was really a very good thing that the XCOM has planned for us. So let me share my screen. One sec. Oops. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
One second. There is a technical glitch. So, okay, let me, before sharing the recognition, let me pose a question to both the singers. One thing that you have, can you please unmute yourself, both the singers? Are you online? Okay, they might have started designing their next track for their next performance. So let us go ahead. I'll share it offline to them personally and also in our group only. So also I have a few recognitions that are to be done. We have a lot of achievements that were being achieved by our members. So I'll share my screen. So first up, congratulations to all of them who have completed and submitted their educational awards in this term, starting with Abhinaya, Arun, Grady, John, Michael, Nagaraj, Shrikar, Vignesh, have done and put in a lot of efforts in completing the educational paths and submitting the awards. Kudos to all of you in taking your first step towards public speaking. So next up, I would also like to thank all of them who have joined today, and a big thanks to our veterans, DTM Santa, DTM Toastmaster Karuna, Toastmaster Joe Srinivasan, and a lot of people who have joined it today and made this really, really special. And special thanks also to Shankara, who was our Zoom master today. He was been organizing this Zoom meetings right from the COVID-19 situation, and we didn't have any Saturday missing. Every week we had our meetings, and big thanks to Shankara for organizing that. And the initiative of starting a lockdown learning session in our club is the brainstorming idea of Vijay Rajan, and kudos to him, and also Tobin, who has volunteered for hosting this session. I would also like to thank John for his work in Resurgence CTC newsletter that is being published. Kudos, John. It was really a very nice initiative that we have published this magazine. Also, I would like to congratulate Abhinaya, Nagaraj, and Murli for representing our club in the ISC division, TT, and also the humorous stage. Kudos to all of you. You have made us all proud by taking our club to greater heights. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all the ExCom officers who have brought in a lot of surprises right from January till today. I hope all of you have loved all the meetings that you have scheduled and all services that they have given to you. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry if I've missed on any of the recognitions, and thanks a lot for joining today. And over to Murali, if you have anything to share properly, you can.
Hi Priyatam. Yes, I am finally happy because this moment of celebration has finally come to an end, because there are a lot of things involved in terms of handling and virtual session. I personally feel if I wasn't stage in Coromandel, I would have been rocking more than this, because I could see the energy, I could see the person's face reaction, and all here I have to do is I have to admit, I have to see a pop-up. I have to make sure I see the faces. Make sure that I have to see the notifications in WhatsApp in here. And I guess this is a very challenging time. And I guess from great challenging times, we evolved, and we have always evolved as better humans and Homo sapiens, I would say. And even in this COVID situation, I would say we would be finding a cure. Some guy in the corner of the world, he would bring that solution to us, and I think we would all get that immune system, and we would be happy moving around in places and meeting the Toastmasters live, pulling each other's legs virtually, not virtually, being on real time, and probably we could catch up with all the DTMs and the pillars of CTC over a chai, maybe over in a restaurant. I think that would really be great, and I think we would like to conclude by a photo session. That would also really be great. And all of a sudden, it was suddenly popping up in my mind. I want everybody to make a few people can make a C, and few other people can make a T, another few people can make C, and 350. It need not be. It can be random. It can be anything. We'll just make sure that we do a little bit of Photoshop, and we put all the perfect faces together, and we would incorporate that in the newsletter as well. John, ready or not, we are getting a beautiful picture during our milestone meeting 350. And yes, unmute you guys and probably you can. Yes, I want everybody to unmute and start with a C or a T or a C or a 350. Okay, everybody come on. Tobin, Shiva, yes, you guys can unmute. Yes, everybody is there. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, my favorite letter is T. Yes, I'm going to mark it with a T. And with big note, I would like to get a shout out with you guys. I say CDC and you say hip hip hooray. CDC!
Hip hip
Hip
hooray.
hip hooray.
CDC!
Hip hip
Hip
hooray.
hooray.
CDC!
Hip hip hooray.
Okay, guys, that was a wonderful session. That was a wonderful, perfect milestone meeting that everybody would have dreamed of. And yes, I guess with I think we have done a fair job with this virtual meeting. And yes, final thoughts over to Priyatham. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Murali. Thank you once again for everyone who have joined in today. I hope all of you had good time and good memories for all our veterans who have joined in today, who can have their rejoice all their memories back. And once again, big thanks to the XCOM team who organized this and all the members who have joined in. With this, I declare meeting day one of our 350th meeting closed, and we would be meeting again tomorrow with an open mic night where all our guests are going to give their speeches and they're going to take up roles. Stay tuned for more updates. A big clap and we're going to close this meeting. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
We still have the floor alive. If you want to interact with anyone, the stage is open. And we also have a few rapid fire questions. So anyone would like to attempt, they're welcome.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, sure. So let me pull in some more people. So first we'll start off with guests. So Dinesh Balaji has joined us from Toastmasters. Let me have a rapid fire with him. So Dinesh, you have observed all of us today. Who has the best hairstyle? Who has the best hairstyle?
I found a couple of unique guys. Some of them just turning on the video and doing that was the SAA, I guess, today. And you have a unique hairstyle, I would say. It is branching all over the place.
True. That is the wake up pet look. They say they don't comb your hair and they name that. Thank you, Dinesh. So let me shoot another question. I have a couple of questions. So Shankara, can you please unmute? I have a question shooting at you.
Yes, Priyatham.
So if you're gonna give someone a Mr. CTC title, who would it be?
Mr. CTC title, right?
Yeah, Mr. CTC.
Okay, I would probably give that to Mr. Nagarajan.
Wow. That's really nice. Okay, then Tobin, are you online?
Hey, hi Priyatham. Yeah.
Hi Tobin. So this is a very tricky question and you got to think on your toes. So that is why I've chosen you.
Okay.
So if you're gonna give someone Miss CTC title, who is it gonna be? You can think of members who have joined in before, now, anyone.
Okay, as far as I see, there are two women in the conference today. If it was one, it would have been very easy.
No problem. You should pick one. Robin is very kind-hearted. He would give the title to both of them, I guess.
Considering the fact that I'm not met with most of them, I think probably I would like to go with my mentor, Santan Lakshmi.
That's very nice. Thanks, Robin.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me shoot another question to the guest who's gonna be MC for tomorrow. Shelva, are you online? So another question coming up. Are you online? We're not able to hear you. Yeah. So what was the first impression when you have visited our club? What was the first impression that you have had? So you have joined us once. So when you entered the room, what was the first impression that you had?